It's time for another episode of Leadership of the Leaf, now in their third season. More leadership topics to discuss and more cigar knowledge to share with great pairings. Grab a cigar, give it a cut and light, and put some smoke in the air with your host, Dice and Austin.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin.
Hey, Austin, and I'm Dice.
Hi, Dice.
Hey.
So, before we get into all this wonderful cigar knowledge that we're going to drop on all these lovely listeners that we have, and leadership
Cigar knowledge.
Cigar knowledge, leadership knowledge, it's almost like we do a podcast.
Am I on the right show? No, I'm kidding. Of course.
I
Yes.
think so. But before we get into all of that, right, I need to know, what are we smoking?
We are actually smoking the same thing this episode, and
We've been doing that a lot this season.
Yeah. It happens. I will say the cigar was originally based out of Holland.
Yeah.
And according to United Cigars, it was a registered trademark cigar shop in 1770. Wow, right? And it was one of the first cigar brands in history at 1772. I'm pretty sure some listeners can figure this out. 1937, the company went out of business, and Dave Garofalo brought it out from the ashes in 2022. United Cigars, Red Anchor, sir. Red Anchor.
Anchor. And what do we call the size that we're smoking here?
I want to say it's a gunner. They call it a gunner. I think we would call it as a Lancero, but they label it as a gunner.
Lancero type. It's a 6.5 by 42.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. So it's a little longer. I like it.
It's long and thin for your small fingers. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. It makes my fingers look fat. No, I'm kidding. Or maybe that's,
all right.
I don't know.
All right, so we're smoking the Red Anchor,
Red Anchor, yes sir. United Cigars.
which this is my first Red Anchor I've had.
Same Z's.
All right.
Yay.
So we're on the level playing field. This has an Ecuadorian Habano 2000 wrapper. The binder is Dominican Monte Palata, and the filler is a Dominican San Vicente and just a regular Dominican Habano 92 Pennsylvania for the filler, which is very interesting, and it's rolled in the Dominican Republic.
I'm so glad you did that part. There's no way I would have said half that stuff. I would have been like the Kellner family farm. I would have just said that and call it a day.
I know. No, we got to play to our strengths here. But speaking of strength, what Hennessy are you pairing that with?
Oh, you just knew it was going to be a Hennessy, right?
You've gone too long without drinking Hennessy. I know it has to be Hennessy.
Hennessy is a regular VS, sir.
Regular VS. All right.
Regular
all right.
I got to crawl back into it. I can't just go straight to XO. I got to build myself to it. It's been so long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, it really hasn't. I mean, I have drunk Hennessy not on air, but
What you drink is what I drink.
but yeah.
All right. Cool.
What do you drink?
Me, I am. I try to pair with a nice red breath.
I thought that's what that bottle was. I saw it earlier, and I was what? Yeah, I've seen that bottle. I was like, red breast is the business.
Yeah, well, my wife only lets me have one glass every so often. I've been lucky to let me have some more on the more often side. So I'm going to keep that trend going for as long as I can.
Does she hide the bottle from you?
No. I just have really good willpower.
Applause to you then.
Yeah, we'll see. But basically, I don't want to get bitchy. That's basically what it is. Yeah.
I understand that. Same Z's again.
All right, so let's dive into our topic real quick. What is the cigar topic for tonight? Because I know you did a lot of research for this, so I don't want to steal your thunder. I'm going to give you a chance to really, really dig us into this.
The cigar question actually came from like a slight question someone asked. So it was about the cigar's finish. What do you mean when you talk about a finish? I heard you say that before.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I was like, oh, you know what? I'll do you one better. Listen to this episode and bada bing, bada boom.
Boom.
Got you.
Speaking of finish, I smoked. We were talking. I think we talked the other night. We were smoking cigars, obviously, and the cigar I was smoking that night had a really short finish on it. For
Really?
as heavy as it was, it had a very short finish on it. It was great. I loved it. I will smoke one on air and then make sure to let everybody know. But our leadership topic, I'm super stoked for our leadership topic. This is one that I've brought to you.
Yes.
And I think it's a great one. But it's we're going to talk a little bit about game theory, and we're going to get into that by looking at the prisoner's dilemma.
No, it was an interesting topic for me to look over.
Yeah,
I can't wait to chit chat with you about that precise topic because it was good. It's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, I thought you might like it, but all right. So I will say that this Red Anchor is supposed to be a medium to full, but just lighting it up, I don't get medium to full.
I don't get medium. Maybe mild to medium.
I'd give it a light plus.
Yeah, it's maybe because of the Lancero shape. I'm not sure, but yeah, I agree with you on that. It's supposed to be medium to full. That's what the little media notes and all that say. Maybe we'll get there. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out in our first third, second third, final third. Box ready.
All right, cigar topic. Finish. A cigar's finish. What do we talk about when we say a cigar's finish? Is it the shininess of the wrapper, right? We put the finish on the cigar wrapper. Is that what we're talking about?
We'll talk about when I'm done and I dab it out like a cigarette.
Yeah.
I'm finished.
Yeah. Make sure we do that in every lounge. No, don't do that.
I'm finished. No. It's referring to the texture and flavor that resonates in your palate when you're done smoking, or even like between your draws. Not when you're like done. I'm done with the cigar. No, like you puff, move it from your mouth. Whatever's happening right there before you put it back in your mouth, that's a finish.
Right. It's almost like the aftertaste of a cigar. Right. So, beer, wine, spirits, sommeliers for like wine, swirls and sips the wine across the palate. He'll characterize the length and depth of the wine's visible taste after swallowing or spitting the wine out if you don't want to get drunk. But I mean, let's be honest.
Right. Sacrilege.
They're talking about like the aftertaste. Oh, this has an earthy aftertaste. Oh, this finish is very mellow. Whatever. That's what they're talking about. So the cigars have the same thing. So when you're smoking a cigar, you can identify its finish after you've taken a puff and expelled that smoke through the palate. Does it linger? Does it taste like you haven't had a cigar at all? Is it pretty easy to just go, oh, all right, I'm done with that cigar. Set it down. Let me pick up a different one, and it's like I have a fresh palate. Or do you wake up 2 days later and you're like, I still taste that cigar?
Yeah. Normally, if you have a significant other, they'll let you know what that finish is.
Mine has told me that before. It's really funny because, I drink coffee, and she likes to tell me, she goes, normally after you finish smoking and you drink coffee, I give you a kiss. It tastes like cigars and coffee. And I'm like, I thought the coffee would hide it. She goes, not on some of your cigars. I'm like, oh, those are longer finished cigars then.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like, all I can taste is Hennessy and cigar.
That's a great combination.
That's when I know it's a long finish or a heavy finish. Because a lot of times she'll be like, oh, all I can taste is Hennessy.
Great. Cigar's finish is usually pretty critical to that overall flavor profile that can determine whether your impression of the cigar is good or bad. If you have that really strong, full-bodied cigar that's got a long finish, and you're like, man, I've done smoking that cigar for 3 hours. I still taste it. Like I just put the last straw in. That's a long finish.
Yeah. I know cigar makers, they create their blends. They're aware of how cigars flavors develops from the cold taste to But see, before you light it up, it's the beginning, the middle stages, and all that. Of course, they take into consideration its finish.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm curious about that on cigar makers because, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Steve Saki. He's like, I smoke 17 cigars a day. I'm like, geez, you don't even have time to finish a cigar. What the fuck do you know about it?
What do you mean you're finished? Well,
right? Do you know?
I would think because a lot of times they create the cigars and they have several testing blends, right? Several testing blends. I would assume, of course, I'm not in the industry to blend my own cigars, but I would assume they test A, wait a little bit, test B, wait a little bit, test C. Now, if they like blend A and the finish on it is okay, then cool. But if the finish is not okay and they go to B and the finish is better, I don't know. I would assume that they come into play when they're blending. But I believe the finish would be an afterthought. It's like, this cigar is great. The finish is mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. It definitely, for me, I'm trying to sit here and think, like, how much would, if I had a great blend, right? The flavor notes were all there. It hit all my check boxes, check. And I put the cigar down, and I'm like, I still taste it. Is that a bad thing or is it a good thing?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I think it kind of goes for the cigar. Like, if I'm having a Connecticut type cigar, maybe I don't want a long finish on that cigar. But if I have like a full body Oscuro, Maduro, or something like that, maybe I want a little bit of a longer finish to kind of be like, hey, here's that pepper note, that chocolatey, come back and you can have more.
Remember the cigar you smoked? Yeah, you remember, because I'm still here.
Exactly.
Well, as we go through the types of finish that a cigar may leave, of course, your palate will develop this over time. The more you smoke, the more you get to recognize these things. Of course, it's somewhat subjective, but there's not that much subjectiveness to it if it actually leaves a taste in your mouth. It's either A, it leaves a taste, or B, it doesn't leave a taste. The subjective part comes in if you like it or if you don't like it. That's the subjective part.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as if it leaves a finish in your mouth, that's not really that subjective in my opinion. I wouldn't think it.
Right. It's either tasting it or you don't.
Right.
You either wake up the next morning and go, I had a cigar last night.
Yeah.
Or you go, I feel pretty good about this. I feel like my breath's pretty decent, normal morning breath before I brush my teeth. All right, so one type of finish is a smooth finish. So milder cigars can impart a smooth finish, although smooth is often used to characterize milder blends. Cigars blended with an authentic Connecticut shade are really well known for that smooth finish, and they that's kind of a key characteristic, if you will, of a Connecticut lighter cigar. I'm not saying Maduros and Oscuros, all Habanos and all these other ones can't have it. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
What I'm saying is, when you smoke a Connecticut, which is why people usually characterize them as breakfast cigars,
they don't novice type cigars too.
They don't leave a super long finish on your palate, so that way you can get on with your day, brush your teeth. It's not so bad. And you can go have another cigar later on in the day, and you're like, I don't feel so bad. My palate's not traumatized from that finish. Where I'm tasting it 4 hours later, and I'm just like, holy shit, I had something.
Right. And smooth is often what, I don't want to say cigar people are looking for, but smooth is often what newer cigar people are looking for. Like, a lot of lines will have like the strong and all this other types of finishes that we have, but majority of the time they're going to have something that's going to be smooth.
Yeah, that's 100% truth. Another kind of characteristic of lighter cigars is creamy, right? Yeah. Connecticut shade and Ecuador Connecticut wrappers are extremely popular for their creamy, light, nutty finish. We're like, on the back end I get nuts and cream. It's very like smooth cigar. It's very creamy type cigar. I can almost chew the smoke.
Yeah, I talked to a few people that play golf, and that's normally what they're kind of looking for, because they're not looking for anything heavy or bitter or whatever, and
Right.
fucking put smoke in their eyes. They're looking for something nice, not too light, like a smooth. They want something creamy to where they can enjoy while they're playing golf. Sometimes they pair it with something like beer or something just on the softer side.
Yeah, it's not going to linger on your palate for very long. You know, you got that creaminess, and you're like, oh, okay, this would go great with a nice espresso or a nice coffee with a little bit of cream. And you're like, oh, let me get a caramel macchiato and a cigar, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I would say a light and breezy.
Yeah,
Not too light, not too breezy, but light and breezy.
right there in the perfect middle. Yeah. I so when I first started smoking things other than Gurkha, the first cigar that I picked up, I know I've shared this story, was a Camacho, Connecticut. Great cigar. I think it's great for novice smokers to pick up and go, this is really good. This is really nice and nutty and flavorful, and a Macanudo Inspirado White. It has a very creamy type finish where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could eat this with some eggs. I could have this out on the golf course and crack beer or whatever. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. I remember like my first like creamy like cigar. It kind of like gave me, I want to say, take it like a step back. Like, what am I smoking? Because I was so used to smoking something. Because this is my novice days when I didn't really realize that there were so many different types of stuff. I thought a cigar was a cigar, right?
Right.
When I got one that didn't just go pow right in the gullet. Oh, all right. I see this. I like it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, this is nice. I can see this fitting into my rotation somewhere. All right, I'm happy with it. Since this is a Lancero S cigar, are you in your first third already?
Yes, by most def I am.
All right, what do you get? What flavor notes and finish are you getting?
Not really. There's some char there. I would say there's some earth, some dark, like cedar, dark oak. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it's definitely like charred oak with some kind of tart to it.
Yeah, almost like popcorn, maybe. Like almost burnt popcorn.
Yeah,
right?
I can go
like
that direction.
It's not
yeah.
burnt. It's not burnt, but it's not like perfectly cooked. It's like kind of like you got the bottom of the barrel and stuff.
Yeah,
that's just a slightly burnt. But
you got it out of the microwave just in time.
Yeah. It's like, ooh. Saved it. Like 10 more seconds, and this one's been bad. It's not. I'm not saying that the taste is terrible or anything like that. I'm just saying it's kind of got like a popcorn earthiness to it. It's interesting.
It was definitely I had a hard time placing it. So yeah, because popcorn is not usually something I would say, but yeah, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So another finish could be spicy.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. So usually Cuban seed wrappers, lots of Ligero tobaccos, leaves from upper section of the plant possess an extra intensity because they receive that extra sunlight. They're a little bit thicker vein. That spicy finish coats the palate with tangy and zesty flavor. You get that black pepper notes, that baking spice, the red pepper, and you're like, ooh, it's a little bit spicy. It kind of kicked me in the teeth a little bit.
Yeah, push you in a frame of mind of like Cajun food.
Yeah, jalapeno.
Yeah.
something like that, where it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating here, but it's like, oh, all right, I got a little bit of kick on the back of my palate. All right. Yeah, it's great with full-bodied bourbon, peaty scotch, like something kind of to balance it out, so to speak, so it takes away some of that peatiness. It takes away the peatiness, takes away the spice, vice versa. So it works out good usually.
Hennessy Black.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to go Hennessy around.
Well, yeah. Come on.
I mean,
come on.
Some people don't drink Hennessy, Dice.
I feel sorry for those people. That's not a true story. You drunk Hennessy here, so some people have never drunk Hennessy before.
Okay,
I feel sorry for those people.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, I mean, for those of you at home, obviously you guys are listening, I raised my hand. I don't drink Hennessy hardly ever, unless I'm at Dice's house, because that's all he has.
Hey, what you got in your liquor cabinet here? Oh,
Hennessy. I'm not saying it's bad.
Oh, in all fairness, when you came to visit, I said, "Hey, Austin, is there anything you'd like for me to pick up?"
You 100% did. I'm not faulting you at all. I'm not faulting you at all. I'm just saying, when I go to your house, it is, hey, Dice, what you got in your liquor cabinet? Oh, what type of Hennessy are we drinking? You know why I'm asking what you got in your liquor cabinet. It's not like you got anything else.
Special occasion, Austin. Special occasion.
Uh-huh.
So we're getting some XO.
Yeah, so fuller bodied, spicier cigars tend to leave a little bit longer finish. You can taste those on your palate a little bit longer. Maybe they stick around, kind of remind you that they're still there. Settles on your palate several minutes. You're like, oh, yeah, it's a little bit spicy. Okay.
Yeah,
you eat that Cajun food, that jalapeno, and you're like, I still taste that jalapeno. That's been a couple hours.
The zest kind of hang around a little longer than just something that's cream and smoothie. The zest is, oh, that's a zesty. That's a zesty meat sauce. It stays there.
Yeah, I 100%, 100% agree with you. I just got a question. What do you call the type of finish where you wake up in the morning and you just taste an old cigar? What would that type of finish be? Because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I normally get those on like a heavy. I wouldn't say spicy. I would just say heavy, a strong finish.
Okay.
Because it's not on this list here, but it's because it's not spicy and it's not smooth, it's not sweet, it's not any of those characteristics. It's just a very heavy finish of the cigar. It's just the cigar is just lingering longer.
Yeah. All right. I was curious. What you thought. Because I know that we've both woken up the next morning and go, I'm not feeling that. I think I need some breakfast. Get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got thyme in the eggs? Yeah, you got some rosemary? Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, could you burn that pot of coffee for me, please?
Yeah, I need dark coffee over here. Black, like my soul. I need dark,
like Austin's soul.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike my soul, there's also the sweet finish.
Aww.
I thought that was a good segue. Whoop, whoop. A lot of times you get these from some of the Maduro wrappers. They usually get that dark cocoa, the maple, nuts, figs, stuff like that. We had molasses. We had that one cigar from Founders that had black cherry on the back end, and I tasted black cherry probably until I smoked my next cigar. Yeah, that day I was like, oh, this is still black cherry. All right, that's it. I'm not upset by this finish. It was a long finish, meaning it stayed on my palate quite a bit, but I wasn't upset because it was a nice, sweet, black cherry finish. It was, good. It was good stuff. Nicaraguan cigars with notes of dark chocolate, baking, spices, coffee. Connecticut broadleaf wrappers. Usually they undergo that fermentation for a naturally sweet finish. They usually pair perfect with something other than Hennessy, maybe a rum or a port. Cognac, I guess. If you really want to go that route.
Yeah, sweet finishes. Of course, now I can talk intelligently to this, huh? Because sweet finishes normally bring out the caramel, the caramel notes of like cognac. Sometimes some cognacs have that vanilla kind of finish to it itself. Mm-hmm. So the sweet finish cigars will actually enhance that. They are compatible. What's the word?
Complementary.
That's the word I was looking for.
I know
for each other. There, yeah. Well, now the listeners know what I meant because you're smart. Hey,
I'm here to help you out, pronouncing words, giving you the words.
Yeah, you're my wordsmith.
Mm.
You can go fuck yourself.
I hate you.
Would you say you're bitter?
Maybe.
Bitter. A bitter finish is not desirable, but it may or may not. Yeah, it may indicate that you're smoking a bad cigar, or you're still new in the game and you lit your cigar incorrectly.
Yeah, or I get this too. When you overheat the tobacco by puffing on it too much, you get that ammonia. Or if the tobacco hadn't been properly worked, if none of those is the case, maybe the tobacco hadn't been properly worked and all the ammonia hadn't gotten out of it. And so you get that kind of, especially towards the end. I get these a lot when I really nub a cigar and I'm like puffing on it and burning my lips. So I'm like, that's ammonia. That's bitter.
Yeah.
Like I should have put this out. I should have just let it go when I was happy with it.
Yeah, or your draw is too tight. That can also cause the same buildup of that same ammonia and everything that you're talking about, the schmuckus at the end of the cigar there.
I will say, if your draw is too tight and your cigar is bitter, cut it differently. You know, if you punched it, try a deep V. If you deep V'd it, try a crown cut or rook or, cross cut, whatever. If you just did a straight guillotine cut on it, there's not much you can do other than a draw tool to try to loosen that draw up a little bit.
Yeah. Even if you did a straight cut, sometimes you can still get a little bit more if you do the deep V, but there's not much else you can do. I mean, if you have like a dry and chalky finish, it can lead to a bitter cigar. A lot of times that's due to probably improper humidification, like your cigar is drying out or something. If it's like dry and chalky.
Yeah. I just smoked a cigar right before I smoked this one, and I had to use my draw tool on it. I did a deep V cut on it. It wasn't a very large cigar, so I didn't want to risk a cross cut. But I had to use my draw tool, and I literally hit a wall of tobacco when I used my draw tool, and I punched through it. And as soon as I drew it out, man, the draw opened up, the flavors really kind of started coming out, and I was like, oh, much better smoke. Much happier with it.
I think that was me last weekend. I was just fighting one, and the same thing. I put the poker in and it felt like I hit a wall. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I found
Same.
it. Found the problem here. If your cigar is just naturally bitter, there's a potential for that, like I said, that tobacco just not to be worked or fermented enough. It can lead that ammonia taste, that metallic-y or harsh taste on your palate. It's usually that evidence where you're like, I like some of these flavors, but maybe I just need to let it rest for a little bit longer. Maybe I need to let it kind of ferment on its own, release some of those gases. If you get a straight hand-rolled cigar, like literally somebody took tobacco, put it together, hand-rolled it for you, and said, here you go. You have about 2 days to smoke that cigar. Otherwise, you need to sit there and let it off gas and let it rest for about 3 months. 3 to 6 months. Minimum to let it just off gas.
Yeah.
And you'll find, because if you wait about a month and you start smoking, you're like, oh my God, this tastes terrible. If you have another one, wait 6 months. Try it again.
I got a mouth full of pennies.
Yeah, it's terrible cigar. It's bullshit.
Who said this was good? But all these finishes is how long it lingers, whatever's on your palate. Of course, if you like it, you don't like it. One of the things you can do is what I typically do, especially when I have a good cigar. I don't do it as often with bad ones. Is I make notes of it in I keep the bands of it and I place it in a certain binder or book or whatever you want to call it. Just to know that, hey, this cigar was good. This cigar, I like the finish. I like the flavor notes. I like whatever about this cigar. And the ones I don't care too much about, they go into just a complete separate one. I'm like, oh yeah, I smoked that one before.
Right. What you think? You wanna come back and do your second, third after the break?
That sounds like a good idea.
So I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Smoking this cigar just right now. I punched this cigar.
Yeah.
I did a nice small hole punch. It was tasting great. And then I just puffed on it and I got a little bit of a harsh-ish bitter finish. I was like, ugh. Just randomly in the middle of the cigar. So finishes don't always last the same throughout the entirety of the cigar. You could start out with a nice, smooth, creamy finish, and then by the end, you're like, this is a spicy motherfucker.
Hey.
It doesn't, the finish can change on the cigar based on the flavors that you're getting from that cigar. I want to make sure that's relayed because, you know, it matters how the tobacco is worked all the way through. It matters the shape of the cigar. It matters how hot you got the tobacco. It matters your punch. It matters your cut. Whatever you want to say, it matters. So just because you have a nice, smooth, creamy finish throughout the first third of the cigar does not mean the second third is going to have the same finish.
True story. So I guess we'll go to a break real quick and figure out what flavors you're getting, what came about for that finish that you're so enjoying right now as I see the bitter finish face. All right, we'll be right back. I'm curious to what cigars my favorite podcast will be smoking for the next episode.
Well, if you're that curious, just go to Leadership of the Leaf's Instagram page, at Leadership of the Leaf, all one word. They post pictures of which cigar they're smoking before the next episode.
That's great. Not only will I know what cigar they're smoking, I can see a picture of it to ensure I get the exact same one.
Yeah, I usually leave a comment to let them know if I agree with their thoughts about a cigar or not.
Next time, I'm going to leave a comment on their Instagram page. It'd be like I'm part of their podcast or something.
Hola, mi gente. I'm Wanda Hernandez. I'm CEO of Sticks and Stones Productions, and we are here with Dyson Austin, and you are listening to Leadership of the Leaf.
All right, welcome back. After we just had a quick little break, or however long it takes. I don't know how long these breaks are anymore. But it's true. So Austin, you was talking about you was getting white pepper. You made the bitter cigar face. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so our second, third.
Do that again.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. So Austin, you want to describe your second? You want to tell our listeners about your second third? Because I believe our second thirds are going to be different.
Yeah. So, sorry, I popped in. I was taking notes in my head real quick. So I'm getting an earthy note to the cigar, and yeah, there's an earthy, leathery note to it. But on the back end, I'm getting white pepper. I don't know why. So the white pepper took me a little bit by surprise. I was expecting black pepper because black pepper started coming in, and then I inhaled a little bit, and now I got white pepper, which, if anybody's ever used white pepper, it's a very bitter substance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I was not expecting it. So right as we were going to break, I was puffing on the cigar, and I was like, oh, I think I got just a quick bitter taste. And then I puffed again. I was like, no, that is white pepper. What the fuck? And I was expecting, like I said, I was expecting black pepper. I was expecting earth. I was expecting a little bit, all these other different things. You know, we research these cigars before we go on air, so we kind of know what to expect. Nothing had ever said white pepper.
All right. While you was talking, I was pointing at you while you was talking. So before we went to break or whatever, we was talking about the white pepper, and I was like, I'm not getting, during the break, I was like, I'm not getting that white pepper, man. I'm sorry. I'm getting black pepper. He was like, well, whatever, right? I must say, just now, right now, I got that white pepper.
White pepper.
100% white pepper, because black pepper sits on your tongue slightly different than white pepper. You can definitely tell that anybody, if you can't tell the difference, go to the supermarket or wherever you go, buy some black pepper, buy some white pepper, and try them about an hour apart. Let it be some time in between. Then you will feel the taste, the zestiness on your tongue and your palate differently from black to white pepper. Either way, saying that, my second, third, all your leather notes that you was talking with, the earthiness, and that black pepper was definitely there. I was on board for the black pepper train, but I just took then I took that puff, and yes, definitely white pepper. I even retrohaled during the break, and
you sneezed, which was hilarious.
Yeah, you can fuck all the way off. But yes, white pepper has definitely crept over the black pepper.
Yes. Yeah,
they play leapfrog.
Yeah, it was weird, and it's not anything that's like overly powering, right? Like we talked about the aging room, the Nicaraguan aging room, Quattro.
Yeah.
One cigar of the year, a couple years back, and we were both smoking that. I think we were actually at 8 cigar lounge.
Yeah, that was
Vegas, and we were both smoking it. I think I almost doubled over because I got so much white pepper, and you're like, I don't get that yet. And about 10 puffs later, you about doubled over because you had so much white pepper. I found it. Yeah. I was like, yep, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, so I definitely got white pepper on that. So I'm with the transition that just happened, I'm curious to how the final third is going to go.
Yeah, because now I don't get a whole lot of white pepper. I get more black pepper now.
Yeah, it was like white pepper, then a nice leather, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because see, now my white pepper's almost all the way gone. So just keep smoking, you'll get through it, no big deal. So we talked about finishes, right? That white pepper's going to leave that bitter finish on your palate. Kind of.
Yeah.
I taste it. I taste the spice from the white pepper, the bitterness of the white pepper. So it's going to linger there for a little bit because that tends to have a little bit longer finish. But let's jump into our leadership topic of game theory with talking about the prisoner's dilemma. So the prisoner's dilemma, it's a paradox. It's a kind of a mind exercise, if you will. So and you talk about it in decision analysis, in which two individuals are going to act in their own self-interest to not produce the optimal outcome, right? So game theory and the prisoner's dilemma was developed in 1950 by the Rand Corporation, the mathematicians Merrill Flood and Melvin Thresher, during the Cold War. It's an example of how strategic thinking between individuals can lead to suboptimal outcomes for both players. So let's just dive into the prisoner's dilemma. Let's talk about it, and then we can kind of come back to game theory a little bit. So the prisoner's dilemma basically presents a situation where two parties are separated and unable to communicate, and each must choose between cooperating with the police or not. The highest reward for each party outcome occurs when both parties choose to cooperate. So here's the idea. Here's the dilemma. All right, let's imagine that two bank robbers are arrested. Police convince them to rat on each other. They're trying to convince them to rat on each other. If both robbers talk, or don't talk, if they don't talk, they're both going to get 1 year because they're on probation. They shouldn't have been robbing banks. So they're going to get 1 year because they don't have actual good evidence, right? They were just kind of near the crime. They're on probation, so they're going to get it for...
Yeah. So both of them shut the fuck up. There's not enough evidence to charge them with anything. So they'll get 1 year each. So that's 2 years.
Total of 2 years between the two of them.
Got it.
If one of them talks and the other one doesn't, then the one who doesn't is going to get 10 years and the other one gets 0 years.
Okay.
All right, so that's a total of 10 years.
Okay.
If both talk, both of them are going to get 6 years for a total of 12 years. So obviously the best outcome is if neither one of them talks, because that's a total of 2 years. The worst outcome is if they both talk, they're both going to get 6 years, a lose-lose, and they both, and so everyone's going to go to jail for 6 years. So, and the selfish play is a win-lose or a lose-win, depending on who talks first, right?
Right.
So if let's say you and me, Dice, we're both felons, we're hanging out together near a bank robbery, maybe we did commit it, maybe we don't, police don't have enough evidence, they're going to say, hey, we got you on hanging out with a felon, which is against your probation, so we're going to give you a year. If you talk, we're going to give you nothing, that dude's going to get 10. They say the same thing to you. And then if we both talk, they're going to go, cool, we got them on felon and bank robbery, that's a total of 6 years. Boom, they both go away for 12. So, obviously, the best outcome is if we both shut the fuck up.
But I can see where the dilemma aspect comes into play, because we can't communicate that to each other.
Right, we have to trust one another.
Like, hey, Austin, if you shut the fuck up and I shut the fuck up, you'll get a year and I get a year. We'll be out in no time.
Yeah, year of this, we got it. We did hard stint. We're good, right?
Yeah.
So, people have developed many methods of overcoming that prisoner's dilemma to choose better collective results, despite apparently unfavorable individual incentives. So, you kind of look at this, you're like, man, I can't talk to that dude. It kind of comes down to how much do you trust a felon? How much do you trust your fellow person?
Yeah, no honor among thieves, right?
Exactly. So what we would both see is like, well, neither one of them really want to go back to prison. So they're both going to play the selfish play, and they're both going to talk, and they're going to get a total of 12 years. That's not the most favorable outcome for anybody.
No.
And so
other than the police, of course, but we're talking about the prisoners, because we're talking about prisoners. Right.
So you sit there and you kind of go, so what are the police going to do? If we're both shutting the fuck up, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to go into your room. They're going to come into my room and go, hey, man, I hate to say this, but your boy ratted on you. You're going to go away for 10 years. You're like, that motherfucker ratted on me for 10 years? No, he fucking did the fucking thing.
Right.
He drove the getaway car. And then we both go away for 6 years. I'm like, God damn it.
And then they high five. Because they got us both. Suckers.
Yeah, they told me you ratted. They told me you ratted. Oh, fuck. So, when we compare this to large corporations, if one company raises their price, it disrupts the whole industry. If two companies are competing and one raises their price, then they could get more money. That's just going to go one-sided, right? So that company is just going to end up getting more profit. If both raise their price, each party is going to make small gains. But if both are pretty much the same price, the gain for both sides will raise because of equal opportunity. So if you and me are competing in the cell phone industry, let's just pick a random industry.
That's a good industry, because that happened.
So if I raise say I'm Apple, you're Android. If I raise my prices, I'm going to get a larger share because people are going to still want to buy cell phones. They're still going to be like, fucking Apple raised their price. All right, fucking, I still want an iPhone. I'm going to shell out the money and I'm going to keep making profit. And you're going to go, what the fuck? The same number of people still buying Androids. I want to make some of that fucking dough. So you're going to raise your prices. But if we both leave our prices low, we probably would have made more money. But it comes a tit for tat type situation.
Absolutely. That scenario is actually what happened. But instead of the profits like going to the wayside for Apple, I guess because Apple's a conglomerate of however it works out to be. The other cell phone companies they increased their price to match Apple. If you remember when iPhone first came out, because when iPhone first came out, everybody was jumping to the Android game because it was like, I'm not paying fucking that much money for a phone. But then slowly over time, Samsung and Galaxy and all these other, they slowly crept their prices up to match Apple. Slowly.
Right. Because they want a bigger piece of pie. Because, by no means, whatever, corporation is going to make money, right? So everyone wants to make more money. So if my cost to produce a cell phone is $200, but I can sell it for $1,000, well then and Apple's selling it for $1,200. Well, I can sell my shit for $1,200. If they're willing to pay $1,200 for an Apple, I have just as good of a product. I'm gonna fucking raise my price.
Right. And now the shift, if not that I'm a big pay attentioner to economics like that, but the shift now is kind of went back to the cheaper side, because you can get like a Galaxy for like half the price of an iPhone now.
Right. So what has happened is what they've realized is people have hit probably about their max worth of willing to pay for phones.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to pay $2,000 for a fucking iPhone. Matter of fact, Apple just put out their fucking VR headset. Motherfucker costs $4,000.
Yeah, pass.
Right. But you can get a Meta Quest 3 for $600.
Yeah.
So what people are realizing, if they drop their prices, what's going to happen is their market share is going to go up. So they're actually going to end up making more money on a cheaper product. Well, I'm not saying cheaper product. Cheaper price product.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to pay that fucking exorbitant price. So I think that's what's happening with the Androids, is they're realizing if I lower my prices, I get a bigger slice of the pie, because Apple's still up here at $2,000 for an iPhone 15 or whatever it fucking costs now.
Yeah.
And if I charge mine $1,200, people are going to go, fuck, I don't want to have to pay the installment of $35 a month for the next 30 months to get an iPhone.
Right.
I'll pay the 30-month installment of $15 so I can get a fucking Galaxy. I don't give a shit.
What's also happening with comparing, now we're talking about cell phones. Now what's happening is people are keeping the iPhone people, the Apple people, they're keeping their phones longer now.
Yeah.
I know for myself, I didn't update I went from an 11 to a 13, 11 to a whatever. I made a pretty good jump. I kept my phone for a while because I was like, I paid $1,000 for this damn phone. We're gonna ride this motherfucker.
Right. I know people who still have iPhone 8.
Yeah.
Like they still have the button and shit. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. But like I think I went from an iPhone 10 or 11 to a 14.
Yeah. That's because of this whole game theory. This whole, if you look at it, you can compare it to a lot of things. Even, how about this? Have you ever looked up airline tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you first start looking at airline tickets, you'd be like, oh shit, I can fly to Vegas for $28? And the more you look, it's like now the price for every single place you went is now $70. It's like, what the hell happened? So everybody starts seeing that that's what you're looking for. So everybody's going to jump up to the same level.
So a way around that, just FYI for those who don't know, clear your cookies, clear your cache, because what the program sees is that you're looking at flights to go to Vegas, right? And it's $200 one, a round trip ticket, and they're going, all right, cool. Well, if it was $200 for American and $180 for Delta or United, well, the next time you search it, because everyone watches airline tickets like fucking hawk and they go on there multiple times, you're going to see United creep up to $200 and American's going to creep up to $220. And boom, 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 boom. And then eventually you're just going to go, why is this so expensive? When I looked at this a week ago,
a week ago,
it was like $100 less. And then you go clear cookies, you go to a different computer, and you type in the same thing. It's back down to the 180, 200 range. You're like, what the fuck? The websites are tracking what you're looking at and what you're clicking on, and so they're raising the prices because everyone wants a bigger piece of the pie. They're going to go, how much can we get out of this person to get as much money as we can, because it costs us $50 per passenger. I'm just making that up. $50 per passenger. I want the most amount of profit for my seat as they're willing to pay.
Right. So if they see a ticket, yeah, is essentially the algorithms. It's using game theory to appropriate the right amount of dollars to maximize their profit.
Right. So, to put it in kind of a simplified manner, if company A increases and company B stays the same, the sales of company A is going to decrease because nobody wants to pay the extra money, and company B's sales are going to increase.
Because they're like, I'm not going to company A. That's just too expensive. I'm going to stick with company B.
If company A and B both increase their prices, both sales are going to decrease because nobody's going to want to pay the fucking price. If company A and B both stay the same, the sales increase for both parties. Because they're going to be like, well, it's not really a fucking big deal. I like American. You like United. Who gives a shit? We're all going to the same fucking place anyway.
Right. And that's essentially, that's when you start like buying products that maybe your grandmother always purchased. Something like, I always use Colgate. The price of toothpaste is the same all around the board. My grandma used Colgate, so I'm going to continue to buy Colgate.
Right, yeah. I do the same thing with things that, my mom used to buy, and now I have to buy, and I'm like, well, we were a Folgers house. Okay, well, I'm going to buy Folgers. Well, the price of Folgers has gone up. Well, fuck, I might go to Maxwell House then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, all right. Well, Folgers just lost someone.
Yeah, exactly. And enough people start doing that, either Folgers is going to have to bring their price down, or because the demand for Maxwell House has gone up, Maxwell House is going to go, well, if our demand's gone up, we're going to increase our price because obviously we can make more money.
Well, seeing that, because I know we say if company A and B both increase their prices, the profit goes down. Now, I know everyone's going to be like, well, all the prices are high. Yeah, but usually there's a product B where the price is still attainable or should I say reachable or whatever that you're happy with. Over time, the price slowly increases. I don't know if you remember, you probably don't pay attention, but Coke and Pepsi was cheaper than Coke for a long time.
I do remember that.
But now they're virtually almost the same price. But that happened over time. That didn't happen like, all right, next week we're going to match Coke's price. No, what they did is they slowly increased it over time to where people was like, well, okay. I'm a Pepsi guy.
Well, and that's why a lot of these companies you see like Best Buy, Target, trying to think of anybody else I can think of off the top of my head. They price match.
Yes.
Because they would rather get your business based off of their competitors. Like Best Buy will price match Amazon. Why? Because they would rather you give them your money than give your money to Amazon. So if you sit there and you go, hey, price match Amazon, they go, all right, boop, boop, boop. They aren't going to lose money on the transaction, period.
Yeah.
But what they're banking on is the people who don't do that. And so they're saying, well, I'd rather price match to my competitor and get your money and get the profit versus lose out on that sale.
Quick story about that, because that is some funny shit. Story time. Woo, story time. There was a video game, I can't remember whatever the video game was, but the kid wanted a video game, so we went to Target, and the video game on Amazon was like, let's say $40. The Target had it for like $50. And I asked if they're price matching this whole thing. The lady was like, yeah, and then she looked at the Amazon, she was like, oh, we can't price match that. And I'm like, really? I mean, Amazon, I'm not buying from a seller on Amazon, it's Amazon, whatever, right? And she was like, yeah, we can't price match. I was like, well, you lost a sale, and I turned the phone to her so she can see me hit order on my phone and walk out the store. So yeah, it's a little inconvenience. I had to wait a day for me to get the game.
Wait a day or two. If you have Prime shipping today.
Sorry, kid. Well, where I'm at, I will get it in a day. So sorry, kid. We'll get it tomorrow. Then we just left out the store. But I mean, they literally, I don't know if that sales agent was new or I don't know what was going on, but I know they price matched and they actually lost the sale because 100% had game in hand. Like, yeah, here you go, price match. No? All right. Yeah. If you should have seen the look on her face when I was like, I'm out. I'm gonna need a manager.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Nope. I'm out. It was easy.
Yeah,
all they had to do was price match.
I've done the same thing to Best Buy. I don't know how many times I've stood in a store using the store's Wi-Fi, which is the best thing in the world to me, and looked at Amazon and go, hey, I need you to price match this. And they go, okay. And I'm like, it's $30 difference. I can wait 2 days for $30. I would rather have it right now if you price match me, or I can hit the button and wait 2 days. I don't give a shit. What do you want? We like your money. Cool, price match. Okay. Thank you.
Have you ever used the in-store, like their tablet? You know they got displays for tablets and stuff with Wi-Fi on it. Have you ever went to one of their tablets, pull Amazon up on their shit? Like, I want to buy this iPad. Yeah, we don't price match. Boop, boop, boop. Look on your device. We're using your Wi-Fi in your store.
I'm gonna order it from your shit. I'm not even using my electricity that's stored in my phone. I'm gonna use your shit. That is the biggest fuck you I can do to a conglomerate, to a big fucking store like Best Buy or Target or wherever. Fuck you. I'm gonna order it off your shit then.
I cannot take credit for that one. That was all the wife. That was 100% her.
I've done it before. And my wife gets so mad at me when I do it. Because she's like, what if they watch? What if they're tracking? I'm like, what are they going to do? Like, I went through, I ordered this shit on Amazon. I went to Amazon. It was like, sign out. Close Amazon. Reopen Amazon. All right, I'm signed out. Close. All right, bye.
Yeah, we use because I know people are going to be like, you put your credit card in for me? We use privacy cards.
Yeah.
Privacy cards, if you don't know, they're virtual cards. You pay the money, you get the card for $50. Buy your item for $49.99. The card disappears.
Yeah. That's how Redbox fucking lost a bunch of money, actually.
Is it really?
Some people would go buy like a Visa credit card or whatever. You know, those Visa gift cards?
Yeah.
And they'd have like, I don't know, $5 on it. And they go and they rent from Redbox using that credit card. And then they just keep the movie. Redbox can't charge the $15.99 to the card because they don't have that much on it. But how are they going to get the fucking money back? All right, I don't give a shit. Fuck you.
I got this card as a birthday present.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Ooh, that white pepper back, sir. Are you over there dying?
I am. I don't know what happened. All right. Back to the show.
Anyways, so yeah, the prisoner's dilemma is interesting because it on the surface, if you just trust one another, you both end up better off. But when you're talking about companies and profit, and this could go to your leadership style, right? Like, if your team has to produce the same amount of widgets as Team B, and you try to go to Team B and you're like, hey man, if we both produce 8 widgets, which is the minimum, we're good. Nobody's going to raise anything. Nobody's going to make us do more. You have to trust Team B isn't going to go, well, Team A is only going to produce 8. If we produce 9 or 10, we're going to look like rock stars and all get promotions. And then you come in the next day and the management's like, why'd you only produce 8? They produced 10. You're like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking produce 12 now. And then it just boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, the floor is 20 widgets. And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, now people are working weekends or overtime just trying to make these numbers happen.
Yeah. So there's an implicit trust between, but the biggest thing about game theory is you assume that every single person is only out for themselves. If you assume that everyone's out for themselves, which is a very cynical way to view the world, I agree. However, you kind of got to view it that way. Then you're going to assume that they're going to do what's best for them, which would be to make you look like an asshole. Whatever that is. Ratting on you, producing more, lower, raising prices, whatever the case is. Even if they lower the price, then you're like, well, shit, if they lower the price or they raise the price, well, then I got to do the same because I want the same amount I got to have the same market share. I got to have the same slice of the fucking market.
Yeah, because any analysis of whatever bean counter, they're going to be like, hey, our sales are down this month. Why the fuck are our sales down this month? Well, would you be over there selling at half price? What?
Why aren't we selling at half price?
How can they do that? How can they do that to us?
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe that they do that to us. Yeah, it's 100% a thing. Like, now, so everyone has to kind of look at it. If you're leading a team, and it's your team versus A team versus B team, you have to assume that B team is only out for B team. They don't give a shit about you and your team.
Right.
Especially when when management goes, we're willing to pay whoever produces the most widgets this month an extra bonus of $1,000. You're like, fuck, everybody's gonna produce. They're working as hard as they can to produce as many widgets as they can. Period. Done. So we gotta outwork them.
And without knowing that if you both finish with the same number, everyone gets the bonus.
Exactly. Without taking that into consideration at all. Because then the fucking night shift comes in like a wrecking ball and fuck everything up. You're like, God damn it.
That seemed like in the window there.
It came in like a bird. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Miley Cyrus.
Are you in your final third, fun boy?
Yeah, I got to relight. Right now, what's your cigar? What's your cigar? I'm interested to know.
I'm getting like hints of cocoa mixed with leather. I could use to put them in a blender. There's some oak there. And as I'm coughing. Black pepper's on the retro.
This is your first time smoking a cigar?
It is.
What a loser.
Welcome to my podcast. I talk about cigars. My first one.
I am the powers that be.
The wickets.
So, the white pepper for me has been leapfrogging. What have I done?
I'm dying over here.
I just wanted to let everyone know. Dice is over here dying. He's blaming me. And he's dying from a cigar he's smoking.
It's your fault.
I'm not doing shit.
It's 100% your fault.
How's it my fault?
Making me laugh and shit while I'm smoking.
I'm sorry. We're not supposed to have a good time?
I'm having a great time.
Goddamn right you are. So this white pepper has been leapfrogging back and forth. Right now I have white pepper now. It's hitting me on the tip of the tongue and my lip. Right before that, puff right before that, I got all the flavor notes you were talking about.
I agree with you on that leapfrog.
Yeah. This is a very interesting cigar for me because it's that white pepper leapfrogging back and forth. If they just left the white pepper out, I think it would be a much better smoke.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Now, see, now I don't have white pepper, and now I'm getting black pepper with some oak and leather notes.
Yeah, that's the primary of what I get until that white pepper hits.
Yeah. All right, so here comes decision time, Dice. Is this a single, box-worthy, or 5-pack?
Five-pack. I want to say 5-pack. I want to say that. But the white pepper is really messing with me. As probably listeners can tell.
You're dying and shit.
Yeah. You know what? White pepper aside, I wonder if a different size will play a different role in that white pepper game, or would it bring more white pepper because it'd be a thicker ring gauge.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That's true. We're talking about this cigar right now.
This cigar that we're smoking right now, this size, which is the Gunner. It's a 6.5 by 42, so it's like a Lonsdale, Lancero kind of size.
Yeah.
Single,
All right.
5-pack of box-worthy.
I'm going 1 or 2.
I have to agree with you.
1 or 2. I enjoyed the cigar, but it's not something I don't want to die smoking.
I agree. To me, I'm sitting here smoking it, and I'm like, the white pepper, the overall, if they took the white pepper out, like if they could extract that note and pull it out and toss it to the side, I would probably say 5-pack to box-worthy all day.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But with the white pepper in there and it's leapfrogging back and forth, and it's really messing with my palate.
Yours. You're not
honestly,
dying as much as I am.
Well, I'm better.
You're a big boy. No, fuck you. All right, fine. You're better.
Okay. But with the white pepper, I just don't. A little white pepper is fine. This white pepper leapfrogs where it's like punch in the face with white pepper, back off. Punch in the face with white pepper, back off.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Was it Draymond Green over here? Too soon?
Where's Nurkic? All right, he's on the floor. I just can't. I can't sit there and go, I would be okay with 5-pack, just taking up room in my humidor with a 5-pack or a box. I can't.
No.
I just can't. Like, if somebody was like, hey, smoke this Red Anchor, I'd be like, all right, here it is for free. Okay. I'm not going to be all mad at it. But I'm going to sit there and go, this is just not I would rather smoke something else over this.
Would you rather smoke this or a Gurkha?
But in fairness, I have not had a Gurkha since 2014.
2014, 2015, 2014?
2014. So I have not had one for a while. So I would have to be able to. I'd have to smoke one of them with my I don't want to say enhanced, more educated palate.
Educated, yeah.
And give it a try. But right now, I think I'd rather have a Gurkha.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was smoking. Hence the reason why I brought it up. Well, there you have it.
Huh?
I said, well, there you have it. It's a 1 and 2 for me and a 1 and 2 from you.
Yeah, I just can't. I agree with you on the size. If the size is different, maybe it would be a little bit different. Maybe that white pepper wouldn't be so punch in the face type thing. But, or maybe it would be more. Who knows? I just can't. I cannot sit there and say, yeah, I'd like for this to take up room in my humidor.
Very fair. So this episode, we talked about the finish, which the finish on this one is alternating. Right now, it's on the spicy side.
Yeah, for me, it's on the bitter side. because of that white pepper.
It's pretty zesty for me right now. And we talked about game theory, which I really enjoy. Game theory, I think, requires a lot more research. I think we did it justice. But
For
if
the
you
prisoner's dilemma, yes.
yeah, because if you sit down and actually talk about it, it can be confusing.
Right.
But from a leadership point of view, I think it's an important tool to put in your repertoire because of the mathematics behind it.
Right, you got to be aware of it, and if you look at it from the everyone's out for themselves aspect, which again I know is a cynical way to think of it, but them's the breaks.
How old are you?
Then I think if you look at it in that term, and in that lens, everyone's gonna have to just do what's best for them. And not everybody.
Self-interest, yeah.
Yeah, and not everybody. So then nobody's going to end up winning as much as they could if they tag teams, which then goes into the monopolies and the antitrust and blah 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 blah. But yeah, you gotta. It's like the price war of the gas of the '80s, right? Where things were like, hey, I could get this gallon of gas for 30 cents because that motherfucker's over there selling it for 35. I'm gonna go over to this gas station. And then the next day, next gas station's like, I'll sell it for 29 cents. Like, oh shit, I might as well save a penny.
You can kind of see that today. $3.99, $3.98.
Yeah.
With cash, $3.79.
Right.
Cash is king.
Yeah. So, all right. I think this is a good episode. Like I said, like you said, I think we did game theory justice. Obviously, this is a whole field of study. Game theory is a whole field of study in higher learning institutions. So, we covered it very quickly. It's very, obviously we're not game theorists.
Yeah,
by any means.
we hit the notes. We hit the actual notes of it. But it definitely goes way more in depth than what we shared.
Right.
We don't have enough time on this podcast, and I would actually need a whiteboard to actually help understand.
Yeah,
better.
visual learning would be a thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Keep an eye out for our next episode. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about yet, but I'm sure it's going to be great because we always put out great content.
We're great people.
Obviously. But if you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about, hit us up on our Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf. Send us a message. We're always happy to take your guys' suggestions. Always happy to talk to people. We love doing it. Love putting out stuff that you guys care about. So let us know. We're always happy to do everything. I think we hit pretty much everything we wanted to.
Yeah. Well, until next episode, sir, I'm Dice.
And I'm Austin. And great leaders smoke great cigars.
Facts.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.